Hey guys, what's up? So in today's video, we are back at the rack here, and we are taking a look at one of our storage appliances for today's little video. So this is our current NAS server, and it's very simple but very effective. It's rocking an 8-core Xeon D2143. It's super good, 8 cores, 16 threads, and it's absolutely fine. Cooled by just these two fans, which is kind of awesome. It's got dual 10 gigabit NICs here, 48 gigabytes of DDR4, and a 64 gigabyte Intel Optane SSD for boot. Around the front, we are rocking 4 3.5-inch bays, and inside of them, we are rocking 2 Seagate Exos 12 terabyte SATA hard drives. We only have 2 so far because that's what it came with. Like to get more in the future, but that doesn't really matter. And what we're doing with these two right now is they're running in a RAID 1 using TrueNAS. I replaced the Datto boot OS thing with TrueNAS because I didn't need the Datto thing. It looks pretty cool, as you can see here, but it's really not worth much in terms of usefulness after you don't use their cloud services and stuff. So I replaced it with TrueNAS, and that's what brings us into the topic of today's video. I don't have enough RAM. Straight up. There's not enough RAM in this NAS system. So basically speaking, when you transfer from a super fast drive like an SSD to a super slow drive like, a spinning hard drive, your system, or at least in my case, my system, Windows Server 2022 and TrueNAS, will actually load the files onto RAM on the local machine that you're copying from and transfer them to the RAM of the remote machine that you're copying to. In our case, it's our TrueNAS server. Unfortunately, with 48 gigs of RAM, I would be transferring files to the archive storage, the 1 terabyte mirror, and it would immediately fill up the RAM at almost a gigabyte per second, hit 48 gigs, and drop down to 40 megabytes per second. And that's just not acceptable, so let's go ahead and lay some RAM out and get into this upgrade. We are going from 48 gigs to this many gigs. Ran out of space there. Right here we have 9 32 gigabyte SK Hynix 2666 DDR4 ECC registered DIMMs. We only need 8, but it's always good to have an extra. I literally found them on the shelf. Don't have a plan for them at the moment, so we're going to put them in here. We're going to replace all these 8 gig DIMMs, of which we have 6. Kind of a weird config. It is a quad channel CPU. So as long as we have 4 DIMMs at least, we're taking advantage of all of our channels, but these are nice Kingston DDR4 2400T. Nice DIMMs, but just not even as fast and not even half as adequate for the server. Oh, that was not good. Yo, yikes. One-handed, terrible idea, but I don't have a camera stand that I can set up here yet. Now we've got our bare RAM slots here. We're going to open up all of our clips and start putting in 32 gig DIMMs. I want to try another file transfer. I would have liked to fill out all 4 front bays, but unfortunately, oh wow, this is not very stable. Server rack is moving a little bit. I would have liked to fill out all 4 front bays with 12 terabyte drives. It came with the first 2. I paid $100 for this thing. Came with everything you saw. But unfortunately, 12 terabyte hard drives, still a few $100 even used. And I'm not looking at that kind of money at the moment. Spend it all, so in the future, we can upgrade or move the storage off. It's pretty easy to move 8 terabytes around. You can move it to the SSD share. This is essentially an archive storage. And it'll also be linked for certain backups of critical files that exist on the SSD. It's an NVMe share of also around 8 to 10 terabytes. And that's all NVMe U.2 drives. And our bar server up here. That's what's serving up all these shares. It handles all the sharing. This just handles the iSCSI and block storage. So, wow. I'm surprised that worked at all. Alright, so we are up to 256 gigs of DDR4 2666. Let's go try a file transfer and see how it compares to the old one. So here we go. That is beautiful, by the way. I love it. We got memory 8 sticks. I am looking at, wow, 8 sticks of 32 gigs. So our inventory has updated. We still got all of our storage. Nothing broke there. And our 2143. I don't remember what I said before, but probably not that. Yep. And it's all it all says 2666 mega transfer. I don't know if that's what it's running at, but that is awesome. So yeah, let's go see what TrueNAS says. Okay, so our very professional storage network is not currently accessible yet. Very adult and professional concept here. We should be up here any second now. Come on, give me something. Please. Please, I'm dang. Wow, that is so much better. We've got 251.4, aka 256 gigabytes. These are Gibby bytes. Gibby bytes. Use space unknown. Now that that is started and our share is coming online, we're gonna head to a file server and initiate another transfer and see whose storage fills up first. I love having to log in again. The only thing is just lose 2 terabytes because like you can't use more than 80% of your disk. Okay, so we've got a 116 gigabyte file here. So it's not as big as I would want to try for this transfer. I'd want to try to fill up all the RAM, but at 116 gigs, it's way more than the 48 gigs we capped out at it before. So let's go ahead and see how fast this starts transferring. We're just gonna drop this right onto the Exos hard drive. Wow, whoa, we are hitting 1 gigabyte per second to start. It's coming from just an NVMe SSD, Kioxia CDM5R drug or whatever it is, going straight into what is supposedly a RAID 1 of hard drives. But what's actually happening is our memory on the server side. This is on the file server side. We have 192 gigs of RAM, so actually less right now. This is always how these transfers start. I don't know why. They start just shit in the bed and then they go back up. Oh, come on, hit a gigabyte again. Ah, oh, at least it's using the right unit. Our drive, yeah, KCM5 drug. I'm more curious just to make sure we can surpass 48 gigs in our ZFS cache. So, let's just see if that happens. So I'm thinking we have a new bottleneck. Our memory has stopped at again 102 gigs, which is where it stopped last time, but the cache on the TrueNAS is still going up, but it's still around where it was last time when it started to slow down. So this is a little bit sad, to say the least. I still think this is proving because our cache is filling up a ton, but it's slowing down because of the Windows server, not because of the TrueNAS here. And I'm wondering if it's because of NUMA nodes. Let's find out. You can't see how your RAM is doing across NUMA nodes, but I'm guessing, based on the fact we're using almost exactly half, basically actually exactly half for just this file transfer, because the rest of it's just probably from the other NUMA node, it is likely that because the processes only exist on one NUMA node, our RAM can only be used on one, which means until we figure out how to make this file transfer NUMA aware, basically one half of the RAM is tied to one CPU, one half is tied to the other, and for some reason the file transfer process cannot comprehend having those two separate what are called NUMA nodes or NUMA zones. And unfortunately, that means we can only use 102 gigabytes of RAM instead of the full 192 to the server to do this. So which means the best solution here is not to figure out how to do that in any meaningful way. We're going to have to double the memory of this server, which we're going to have to do in a different video. So we need to go from 192 to 384 at least. On the TrueNAS, we are looking great. We are already at 60 gigabytes or gigabytes, gigabytes on the ZFS cache. We're able to test our network as well. I want to make sure the 10 gig NIC was working, and it is working. We've hit like 4 gigs and over 2 gigabits per second sustained. The CPU on here is doing absolutely fine. We do hit pretty high up, but nothing crazy because it's just hard drive transfers. And we will eventually fill up this cache, but not anytime soon because we're limited by the speed of our other server here, which is highly unfortunate. Just to avoid this being too insanely long, we'll upgrade the RAM in the server and maybe look at RDMA in the next video. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys kind of enjoyed. If you have any suggestions or comments at all, please let me know. Good or bad, I like to know. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for sticking around. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Hey, so I'm putting this at the end because I didn't really want to interrupt the video with this. But the password manager you saw me use just right here in this clip was Proton Pass. I am a Proton partner, so I will leave a link that gives you a discount in the description below. I do get a kickback, so it's an affiliate link. That's why I marked this video as sponsored. They're not actually paying me to say anything. I do just get an affiliate thing, but I wanted to share that with you guys. I use it just because I like the security and I like using it over the one built into the web browser. So if you're interested, I'll leave a link to that and to the VPN, Proton VPN that I use in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.